The following may contain offensive language, adult humor, and/or content that some viewers may find offensive. The views and opinions expressed by any one speaker does not explicitly or necessarily reflect or represent those of Mark Radulich or W2M Network. Please listen with caution, or don't listen at all.
On trial, where we debate the merits of your favorite movies. Hope you're ready, Hollywood, because you're on trial.
Yes, indeed. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Judy presiding. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to another Radulich Broadcasting Network podcast. This is On Trial, where we debate the merits of your favorite movies. And joining me tonight in for the defense is Erica Poe. How do you do, madam?
Hello.
So tonight, we on the docket is Steel Magnolias, and longtime watchers, listeners, commenters, haters of the podcast might be asking yourselves, fucking Steel Magnolias? Why? Why, Erica? Why are we here?
We're here because this is one of my favorite movies. And
Okay.
people should listen to what I have to say, to be quite frank.
Why? Well, why? Who are you, and why are you here?
I'm Erica. That's all you need to know.
So for those that don't know, I've mentioned Erica a couple of times throughout a number of shows, and she's commented on many of the podcasts, usually about my incessant references to defecating.
God.
So she came to me and she was like, "Hey, how do you feel about doing a podcast about Steel Magnolias?" And I said, you know, I'm never one to not give the ladies what they want, so here we are.
I wore my ring, my Steel Magnolia.
That is Steel Magnolia?
Mm-hmm. See, for the camera.
Very nice. You know, you actually hold a distinction. I think I told you this off air, but I'll say it for the people. You are only the second woman that's been on this podcast that I have been in an intimate relationship with.
Oh, wow. Putting it out there. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. She wouldn't leave me alone in the comments, and now she's intruding on the podcast, guys. You know, on our little chapter of No Ma'am over here at the Radulich Broadcasting Network. All right, let me get.
Just call me Yoko, okay?
Yoko, right. That's right. Breaking up the band. God damn it. So I've never seen Steel Magnolias. This came out in 1989. Yeah. And that would have made me 13 years old. And I was not going to watch no old lady movie at 13.
Lady movie.
I was not watching no old lady movies when I was 13 years old. And this is as many like feminist, female-oriented woman movies have come out. I've just never gone back and watched this one. I've heard it's good. I may have even been told it was nominated for awards, but it's just not one. This, Fried Green Tomatoes, and The Bridges of Madison County. We could have done a triple feature of chick movies Mark's never seen before and has refused to watch.
I think I've seen parts of Bridges of Madison County, but Clint Eastwood, that's who's in it, right?
Maybe. I have to look.
I think so. And he's just not I'm not his biggest fan, so yeah.
That's fair.
But I have seen Fried Green Tomatoes, and it's not as good as Steel Magnolias, but it's good.
So when you made the suggestion, I was like, all right, I'm open to this. I want to Jonas once put it to me. He was like, I wanted you to show me all the great movies, and some would consider Steel Magnolias to be one of those. So now that I've seen it, I can show it to him, and he can be bored too. That said, how old were you? Did you see Steel Magnolias when it came out?
No, but we had these places called Blockbuster. And
Oh, okay. I've heard of them.
I'm sure that I rented that.
Okay. When it was like
So if
first
you
the
were,
rentals, or did you?
how
Go
old
ahead.
was I? 89. That's math. I was 11. 11.
You are 2 years younger than me.
Yeah.
Once again, I am robbing the cradle. Anyway, how close to its debut in Blockbuster do you think you saw this? Like when it was
I
brand new
would
and
say
exciting?
pretty close. I would say
Okay.
pretty close. Yeah.
What drew you to Steel Magnolias?
Gosh. Unfortunately, I think it was probably one of those video cassettes that ended up at my mom's house, and we watched one day, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I love this movie." I can't. Maybe I was 14. I don't know, but
Okay.
The familial relationships, the mother-daughter relationships, the maternal, the paternal, the roles, it's just very multifaceted, and I think it's quite interesting. The dialogue has this syncopation that you don't really get a lot of these days. I liken it to Gilmore Girls. It's not really as fast and as punctuated as Gilmore Girls, but it does.
Gilmore Girls sounds like a rock opera they fucking cut the music out of.
Oh my God, you're so uncultured about women's cinema and TV shows. It's embarrassing.
It
It really is.
all I'm saying is that Gilmore Girls had a rhythm to it.
Yes, it did. It absolutely
Yeah.
did. It was written that way on purpose.
So okay, so this is a movie that your mom was like, "Hey, come here, and there's a bunch of broads in this. We're broads. Come here and watch this with me." That about the size of it?
No, I don't think I watched this with my mother because she was a single mom. So I'm sure it was a part of a babysitting routine where I watched my younger sisters and we put on a movie and we pretend that mom's at the grocery store, but she's really at work. So, stuff like
Okay.
that.
So what is this Steel Magnolias? It is, in fact, a 1989 American comedy drama film directed by Herbert Ross. And if you don't know who Herbert Ross is, well, you should. Herbert Ross directed a lot of movies, some of which you may have seen, such as he he directed and produced Pennies from Heaven in 1981. Most famously, probably for anyone watching this podcast, he directed Footloose. He
Oh,
directed
wow.
and produced one of my like top 50 favorite movies, and a movie I quote, whether people realize this or not, a lot, and that is The Secret of My Success. All right, that's it. The sexual revolution is over. Everybody out of the pool. I have actually said that to a lot of people in a lot of different situations because I'm fucking weird. But yes, he directed and produced The Secret of My Success with Michael J. Fox. He went on to do Steel Magnolias. Famously, he also directed and produced My Blue Heaven with Steve Martin and Rick Moranis.
Oh, that was a good movie.
It certainly was, Ollie. He's an executive producer on another movie starring Sally Field, which I simply adore, and that is Soap Dish from 1991. And then his final film that he both produced and directed is Boys on the Side, not to be confused with Riding in Cars with Boys, Lily. Okay, so that's Herbert Ross. He has won a Golden Globe for Best Director for Turning Point, and he won Best Director at the Los Angeles Film Critics Association for the same. So he's been nominated for a whole bunch of other awards. He had Best Picture and Best Director at the Academy Awards 1997 for The Turning Point. So, definitely a credit to the industry. It stars Sally Field, Dolly Parton, Shirley MacLaine, Daryl Hannah, Olympia Dukakis, and Julia Roberts, who were known as the Women Avengers of the 80s. The screenplay by Robert Harling is based on his 1987 play of the same name, about the bond a group of women share in a small southern community and how they cope with the death of one of their own. The supporting cast features Tom Skerritt, Dylan McDermott, Kevin J. O'Connor, and Sam Shepard. Harling based the story in part on his sister, Susan Harling Robinson, who died in 1985 of complications from type 1 diabetes. And in the film, Roberts plays Shelby, the character based on Susan. The film was released on November 15th, 1989. It received mixed reviews from critics who praised the humor, performances, but criticized its portrayal of the South. Roberts, Field, and MacLaine earned nominations for their performances. Robert, who won Best Supporting Actress, and Field at the 47th Golden Globe Awards, and MacLaine at the 44th British Academy Film Awards. And at the 62nd Academy Awards, Robert earns a nomination for Best Supporting Actress, her first career nomination. On a budget of $15 million, this was a big success. It made $96.8 million at the box office. I seem to have lost Erica somewhere. I would say dial, get out and get back in again. Technical difficulties, everyone. All right. Well, Erica figures out her. Hey, there she is.
There I am. See, I am smart.
Stop disappearing.
Okay.
This is not that kind of magic show. Listen. So let me get into just the real basic plot, and then I'll throw it over to you for your. We're gonna let the defense go tonight first.
Okay.
So, because the ladies first. Ladies first. So basically, we meet our characters. It takes 12 hours to get these character introductions done. Daryl Hannah rolls into town straight from her debut as the mermaid in Splash. And she goes to work for Dolly Parton, and Dolly Parton is a hairdresser, works out of her home. Sally Field is the mother of Julia Roberts. Julia Roberts has diabetes, and she's marrying a guy, and Sally Field, this guy gives her the itch. Anyway, they do a wedding sequence that's as long as the fucking Deer Hunter, and it goes on forever. Like
It does not.
2/3 of the movie is the stupid wedding.
Not. Oh my gosh, it's the central theme of the movie, yes, but it doesn't go on forever. They don't show the ceremony. They only show the reception.
Hey, listen, Alexis, you're going to keep interrupting my plot. Alexis, you're going to keep interrupting my plot synopsis?
You know what? Call me Alexis one more time.
So anyway, this 12-hour Deer Hunter-esque wedding goes on, and despite the fact that doctors have told Julia Roberts' character, Shelby, please don't have children. This is not going to go well for you with your diabetes and all. She wants to have a child. She should have a child. She thinks it's a godly thing to have a child. So she has a child. And at first it goes all right. And Sally Field is not thrilled about this because she thinks this is going to end up putting her in the hospital, if not dead. And lo and behold, that's exactly what happens. She ends up needing a kidney transplant, if I remember correctly. Sally Field gives her the kidney. And at first she's all right, but then she's not, and the kidney transplant fails, and Julia Roberts dies. And Sally Field then has to cope with the loss of her daughter. Her friends give her support, and the movie ends with Daryl Hannah giving birth to a child who they name after Shelby, and Sally Field says, "This is fine, life must go on." It's more or less the movie. Mm-hmm. Erica Aloysius Depodomber Abercrombie Poe.
Wow.
Please tell the court, please tell the court why this is the single greatest movie ever captured on film.
Well, I would not say it's the single greatest movie, but it is up there. I really love the writing, the dialogue, the storytelling, the themes that weave throughout the movie. It's just so well done. I would have loved to seen the play. Mm. What else do you want to know?
So let's talk about these piece by piece.
Okay.
There are things that I agree with you on. Let me go ahead and first say I did not hate this movie. It's a little long. One of my big criticisms of the movie is that it is just 2 minutes short of 2 full hours. And you really could have cut about 30 minutes out of this. A tight 90 minutes, and I think you have it. This has some pacing issues.
I'm going to agree to disagree, but you have a point. Okay. I will give it to you.
So when you say you agree to disagree, are you saying like you're okay with the 2 hours. You didn't feel
Yeah,
it had
I am.
pacing issues.
That is exactly what I'm saying. Yes, I don't believe that it was a long movie, and I think that if the fans would tell you that it is just the right amount,
Mhm.
and I think that it. What was I going to say? I think that if you watched it again, you would find that it went faster than you thought it was.
Falling asleep 3 times didn't help.
No, it didn't. But you weren't sleeping, remember?
I was not sleeping. I was resting my eyes.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, I feel, as the prosecution, the film's got some pacing issues. It's very front-loaded. I was making a joke about The Deer Hunter, which I don't know. Have you ever seen The Deer Hunter?
No, but I know about The Deer Hunter.
Yeah, it's got a very famous wedding sequence that takes about 2/3 of this movie. It's really long.
Yeah, that's definitely untrue. The wedding is essential for this story to happen. If there's no
Does the wedding
wedding,
take place as the same day as the opening of the movie where you're meeting all the characters? Is that all
yes,
one day?
yes.
That's the longest day ever.
Not really. No.
Where do they start off at 3:00 in the morning?
No.
When Daryl Hannah walks in the first scene, it's got to be early morning, right?
It is. It's like 8 a.m.
So you figure the wedding's about 6 p.m. By the time we get to the reception, they're probably 6 or 7 o'clock at night.
Yes.
Yeah, that's. I'm not, like I said, I'm not complaining.
Yeah, I understand.
I watch the movie,
you make a point. It
okay.
is a lot of attention to the wedding. However,
Mm-hmm.
without the story of the wedding, we wouldn't have the buy-in with the characters. It would just be so factual. You would end up saying, "Wait a minute, why didn't we get to watch any of the wedding?"
I'll tell you why I think because here's my thing. Just having a conversation here. The faster we get to Sally Field and Julia Roberts arguing about the potential of her having a kid, or I think she's actually pregnant in that scene. She's trying to tell Sally Field, I'm pregnant. And Sally Field's like, what the fuck? Why are you?
She says she's getting furniture for Christmas for the nursery, and that's her way of telling her mother.
The faster that to me is the heart of this movie. Because Sally Field.
I agree. I still think that you're handicapping the character development if you skip the wedding.
I don't want to skip the wedding. I just want to get through it faster. And I want to get to it faster.
Typical man. I want to get through it faster. It's too long. I
want to get to it faster, and I want to get through it faster. Because a lot of time is spent. I want to put that's going to be end of my gravestone. Mark Radulich, devoted father. He wanted to get to it faster and through it faster.
Yeah.
Not giving the ladies what they want. That won't be on my tombstone. Anyway.
No, it won't. Where's my cookies?
Go fucking get them.
Hey!
You got a car. Anyway, so there's a lot of time spent at Dolly Parton's house. Let me take a second here, because if I don't say something nice now...
no, there's a lot of time spent at Dolly Parton's business, which is at her house. Let's be accurate.
Okay, pedantic. What are you, fucking Robert Winfrey? So...
Better than Alexis.
Okie dokie. So, there's a lot of time spent in Dolly Parton's house business. And... which is, I think, a little bit of time there to get to know Daryl Hannah and get to know Dolly Parton, and have Dolly Parton kind of like give you the introduction to the setting is fine, but we linger a little too long. And
again, I don't think the lines would hit as hard. I don't think the scenes at the end of the movie would be as impactful if we weren't centrally located at Dolly Parton's house. Okay. Dolly Parton was a big part of this movie, and she was robbed because she was not nominated for anything.
Well, that I completely agree with. I said to you, when we went out to dinner tonight, I said that to you earlier. I said, my favorite part of this movie is Dolly Parton's performance. It's
really good.
Let me go kind of do a sidebar here. If I could approach the bench, I would like to point out that I think the problem with Steel Magnolia is that it suffers from Hollywood bias, in that it was not given more awards, and more of the actresses weren't nominated for performance awards because of inherent bias against the South. and this is a very Southern movie.
And what else did I say there was bias towards?
What else? I don't remember.
Ageism.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Is I made the joke about the Avengers, but there is definitely like when the hottest youngest actress in this thing is Julia Roberts, who was like she was the it girl at the time, but everybody else is old biddies and bags. It's like look, Olympia Dukakis and Shirley MacLaine are fucking they're the Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels of this picture. They're also 100.
They're older, but I mean, look at their faces. They have held up well as seasoned women.
I know you're a huge professional wrestling
We're
fan.
not talking about Estelle Getty here. We're talking about Olympia Dukakis.
I want Rue McClanahan.
No.
Which do you think is Marty Jannetty and which is Shawn Michaels? Olympia Dukakis or Shirley MacLaine?
Oh my god!
Because I know you're a big professional wrestling fan, so it's good that I'm asking you these
wrestlers that I've heard of. I mean, I've heard of Shawn Michaels, but I don't know the character enough.
Who are you to disparage the good goddamn name of Marty Jannetty? Anyway, moving on. Exactly. So Dolly Parton is excellent in this. She's actually my favorite performer in the entire movie. I was telling you earlier today, I actually think she's better in this than she was in 9 to 5.
I agree with that. Yes.
She really does they give her a lot in this movie, and it doesn't feel that way because she's up against heavyweights like fucking Sally Fields and Shirley MacLaine. But I really do feel like she gives the most solidly steady performance throughout the whole thing. And granted, Dolly Parton is as west, as south and as west as you're going to get, but I truly believed she was from that place in that time, and every part of that place was in her. So I was absolutely with Dolly Parton, more so than I think any of the other characters, because Olympia Dukakis, she's good in this, and I love Shirley MacLaine because she's she's so angry through most of this movie. Well, it's great.
Olympia Dukakis and Shirley MacLaine's friendship and their lines are chef's kiss amazing.
They really are.
You know what they say? If you don't have anything nice to say about anyone, come sit by me and we'll talk about it. I'm paraphrasing, but that was one of my favorite lines for Olympia Dukakis. Excuse me.
They're really good together. They play off each other really, really well. And I don't want to get too far ahead, but when we get to the funeral for Julia Roberts at the end of the movie, and Sally Fields having a conniption, and Olympia Dukakis is like, I know you want to hit something, so fucking hit Shirley MacLaine. She deserves it. She's done nothing. She's given us nothing.
She did deserve it. She did deserve it. Weezer she's not everybody's cup of tea, but that's kind of not a bad thing.
Yeah. So Daryl Hannah is probably the weakest performance in this. Not bad. Just not the best.
I don't think so, because she goes from this mousy, I don't know if I'm married woman, to this, as I'll use Dolly Parton's line, a Jezebel. And she goes back down to earth again, and she finds the love of her life, and they have a baby and name it Shelby. I mean,
yeah, so those are all things that happen in the movie. What I said was, I don't think she gives as believable a performance once her transformation hits. Like, I like her in the beginning when she's mousy.
I heard what you said, and I disagree.
Okay. When she, in the beginning of the movie where she's trying to figure herself out and she's under Dolly Parton's tutelage, I believe that. I believe Daryl Hannah's performance in that part of the movie. The flash forward where we get to the state fair and and she's had her hoe phase.
Well, I mean, she's right below you in the preview, in the movie poster.
Where she belongs.
Oh, really? Oh, really?
So it's where I always put the women. Listen to me. So that's right, ladies. I'm taken by this lady right here.
Maybe some of my friends are gonna watch this. Maybe like an employer might watch this. Let's clean it up a little.
Not even a little. Listen to me. So when she makes the switch to, her post-hoe phase Jezebel, and she's doing more of a drawl, like, this is purely a performance thing. Like, not that Daryl Hannah's a bad actress. She's not. I just don't. She's not as believable from the state fair scene on And she wasn't the first part, in my opinion.
I disagree. However, I will concede that she is the weakest of the 1, 2, 3, 5 ladies. There's 5, right? 5. 1, 2. Yeah, 5. She has the
It's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Who am I missing?
It's Sally Field, Julia Roberts, Dolly Parton, Daryl Hannah.
Dolly Parton. I was missing Dolly Parton.
Olympia Dukakis.
Shirley MacLaine. 6. You're right. 6. She's the weakest of the 6. I agree with your point there. I will concede that.
So the middle of the movie, I think once we get to, this was another issue I had with it, but it goes to the first one where we're talking about like pacing and if the crux of this movie is the relationship between not just all of the women, but specifically between Sally Field and Julia Roberts, is that mother-daughter conflict of, I want what's best for you, and you're making asshole decisions, and the daughter going, I am a grown-ass woman, I will make asshole decisions, and you can't stop me. That's the whole fucking movie right there. There's other stuff happening around them, but that's the core of the movie.
What's your point, sir? Make it.
I'm getting there. Impatient. I wish there had been more time spent with Sally Field and Julia Roberts. I don't think there's enough.
Okay, so
Julia Roberts' death isn't impactful to me.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God, Mark, no. Oh.
Okay. All right. So since you're doing fucking the dramatic reading here, explain. You go ahead and for the courts, if it pleases the court, explain to them why Julia Roberts' death is impactful to you, the viewer of Steel Magnolias.
Because one of the 6 of them is gone. She is gone.
That's what happens when you die.
Down in the prime of her life, a small child, a new marriage, a health risk, and she gambled and it did not pay off. That is essential, and the gut check that it takes you to is very impactful. I wholeheartedly disagree with you here.
Okay.
Wholeheartedly.
When you give me a list of things like you just did, yes, in isolation, the list itself is impactful. Those are all bad things. I will say it again, I don't want to relate to a specific incident that happened recently, but when a parent dies and leaves a child in their wake, that is a very sad, tragic thing and should not be reveled in or taken lightly.
Heard and noted and agreed.
However, as the movie presents it, like, I'm sympathetic with, what the fuck was his name? I'm sympathetic to Robert Harling's personal story. I talked about this with somebody earlier today about people working through their grief through art. I don't think you should take Warner Brothers' $200 million check for make a blockbuster and you come up with the last Matrix movie because you're upset about your parents' death, Lana Wachowski. But I sympathized with her endeavor. There was somebody else who was thinking about where they made the film very specifically to work through the feelings of loss, which I'm okay with, provided you're being responsible about it. And I certainly am sympathetic to this guy's story about losing his sister. I don't know if the movie did the best job of presenting Sally Field and Julia Roberts' story so that when she dies, it's as impactful as it could be.
Again, wholeheartedly disagree, but that's okay. You're new to the female genre.
I am not.
Cinematically.
I
Sir,
saw Barbie,
sir.
Poor Things.
Oh. Yes,
The
let's sexualize
Substance.
women. Let's sexualize women, but not give them depth and range. You know
Well,
what?
that is slander, madam, and
You know what? You know
I
what?
beseech the judge to
No.
to
And you know what? Who's the judge? No one's watching. It's me. That
Anyway,
is unnecessary, sir.
I am not new to
I
the female genre
object.
in
I
film, madam.
object.
You can object all you want. Anyway, we'll agree to disagree.
Mhm.
The last bit, I think we've kind of put this off long enough. We can get to it now. The second, other than Dolly Parton's entire performance, probably the best thing about this movie, like the Avengers Assemble moment, you know, the real emotional peak of this movie is Sally Field flipping out at the end.
Yeah, I agree.
I want to go
I
ahead.
used to think, okay, so, and I'm sorry, I'm interrupting a lot.
Yeah, go ahead.
I used to think that the funeral was the peak, but I really don't. I really don't. I really don't. When you see Sally Field in that hospital room lamenting and doting over her dying daughter, and you know that that husband of hers isn't dealing with his wife because he makes it a matter not to have to deal with his wife, they emotionally abandon her. She's in that hospital room alone. She is alone, and she is as alone as she was when she went into labor with that baby. That is why I think the peak is the hospital room scenes.
I'm going to take this opportunity here to ask you a question, because when you originally pitched this to me, you were like, I want to talk about Steel Magnolias, but I want to talk about it from the standpoint of view of the single mom.
Yeah.
So I kind of want you to go into your thoughts there, single momhood, this movie, how it relates. Like, what are you getting at?
Well, I
Exactly?
mean, Sally Field kind of is like a single mother with 4 children because her husband does not participate in the emotional raising of these children. They are very well off. He's out shooting birds in the trees so they
He
don't.
was trying to get him away from the wedding.
I know, but where is the I think that the men in this movie were the women usually, and the women were the men, and that is why we have the title Steel Magnolias, because men are supposed to be made of steel or something. But when the push came to shove, where were the men? They were in the waiting room, not in the hospital room. There you go.
I think in terms of theme, if the point is there are opportunities and events where women have the strength of men, and men do not live up to their part of the bargain, I think it's just fine to tell that story, and it's fine to talk about that because it does happen. There's plenty of men either emotionally or physically abandoning their position in their family over the years. So certainly something worth talking about. I think we're being a little unfair to Tom Skerritt. I think
You know,
Tom Skerritt is for those
and
those are just watching to see what the fuck we're gonna say, because you and I are wildly amusing, but haven't seen this movie. Tom Skerritt is Sally Field's husband, Julia
yes.
Roberts' father.
So he redeems himself at the end of the movie because he has a moment with Weezer where she understands that he's hurting and he makes peace with her. And so you get to see the emotional range of him. But why isn't he using that emotional range to deal with his wife? I hate that line. I hate that goddamn line. I make it a pact to never have to deal with my wife, is one of his lines in his movie. And he really doesn't deal with her. He lets her hang out there all by herself. It's not fair. Emotionally, it is not fair.
So you're commenting on the concept of men kind of emotionally abandoning their spouses.
Yes, even when they're not single mothers. Sally Field is married, but emotionally, she is a single mother.
Mm-hmm.
She is a single mother, and that is her oldest child.
Is it hard to be a single mom?
Yeah. Mark.
I'm throwing you softballs. Hit them.
Why? I'm doing great. Hit me a hard one.
give you a hard one. Okay. I'm curious if there's something, you're kind of going after this point of like, what happens when women feel, are in fact emotionally abandoned by their husbands. Like, what do they do? Like, so how does that feel like, to you as a viewer? Are you overly empathizing with Sally Field when you watch this?
I don't think I'm overly empathizing with her. I think I'm empathizing with her in a big
Okay.
way. I'm identifying with. See, the one of the pulls of Steel Magnolias is that I can see myself in each of these women. Each of the 6 of them, I see myself reflected at some point in my life, and maybe in my life to come. I see myself in these characters, and that's why I like this movie so much.
How are you, Dolly Parton?
She's
like the rest of this I'm fine with. I'm struggling with the Dolly Parton one.
She's an entrepreneur. She is a scrappy lady. She starts out, she says, my husband enclosed this carport so I could support him. And she was right. He was portrayed as a guy that was always out of work, and she supported the family. And she's an entrepreneur. She went out, and by the end of the movie, she had 2 beauty salons now. She was a chain. That was a big deal.
Okay. How are you, Olympia Dukakis?
One-liners. Hello. If you can't say anything nice about anyone, come sit by me. I love that line. I steal that line, and sometimes I use that line.
All right. So, like I said, let's talk about Sally Field, and then I think we're going to start to wrap up.
Okay.
For me, the hospital scene's good. No question there. I think speaks to a lot of the stuff that you're talking about. I think it's an important scene. I think it's done pitch perfectly. But for me, as I see you, as I see women, as I take from this movie what it's trying to get at, for me, it all gets summed up in Sally Field's monologue at the end of the movie, where she's simultaneously having a conniption and trying to keep her shit together.
Yes.
It is. I mean, when Barbie talked about the duality of women, we're either, we're both coming and going at the same time on an ongoing basis, and it's exhausting.
Yes.
Yeah, Barbie took that from Sally Field's fucking monologue at the end of Steel Magnolias and just kind of went their own way with it.
Mm-hmm.
She is.
No, actually, America Ferrera did that.
Yeah. I'm saying the movie, but
yeah.
My point is that it's brilliant. It's definitely a reminder how great an actor Sally Field is, because I'm not sure how many women would have been able to pull that off.
Absolutely. I agree with that.
Let me first talk about how there's an air of composure that kind of rules social mores and behavior of, at the very least, women of the South. And she's desperately trying to cling to that scaffolding, and it's not holding her. She is angry. She is betrayed. She is sad, all at the same time at the loss of her daughter and what she feels her daughter's reckless decision making.
But this reckless decision making brought forth this beautiful little boy.
Yeah, we'll get there. I want to stay focused on this. But because I'm trying to tell people what Sally Field is doing in that scene and what makes that brilliant is how much she's like, I have to act a certain way, but I feel a certain way, and those two things are not in congruence, and I am freaking the fuck out, and I don't know what to do about it. And she's doing it in front of her friends where she feels safe, but also embarrassed. It is such a rainbow of different emotions going on all at the same time.
It's very bipolar.
It's quite bipolar. It's really the best part of the movie for me. If one of my guy friends was just like, this seems gay, why are you watching it? Like, watch it for the Sally Field scene.
Yeah.
I know people like to cut up movies and put them on TikTok. The Sally Field monologue at the end alone is TikTok worthy.
I'll
let you speak to this, but I wanted to get that out and be like, this is the most perfect part of the movie. Sally Field's fucking having a meltdown at the end.
Absolutely. And again, we're breaking serious trauma by using humor, where she says, does anybody have a mirror? And then she looks in the mirror and she says, Shelby was right. I do have football head. and she loses it again. And that's just grief. That's just grief, Mark. You know, you went to school for this. That's just a woman experiencing the most gut-wrenching grief that she has ever had up to this point in her life. She just lost the first baby she ever gave birth to.
Yeah. There's nothing quite as tragic as the loss of outliving one of your children.
Yeah. Yeah.
We haven't talked too much about Shirley MacLaine or Olympia Dukakis, and I just kind of want to touch on them before we start to close up. Shirley MacLaine is great. I think she's great comic foil in this, but I also think she speaks to something very deeper. The kind of woman who's tragically angry for most of her life.
Yes.
You know,
I mean, wouldn't you be angry if people called you Weezer? I mean, not now because of the cool band, but you know, back then, Weezer.
I think
Weezer.
One of the symptoms of depression and one of the symptoms of trauma is never being able to feel joy. And you know, now because of the overuse of therapy language, that thing that gets talked about maybe a little too much. But back in '89, and she's already an older woman in 1989, so she's we're talking about a woman born in the mid 20th century, if not earlier. And she has this deep well of angry sadness within her. It's actually a character that I had a deep affection for. Not because I love Misery, because I really don't, but I do. I wish the movie had taken some time for us to get to know her more. Why are you so angry and sad?
Well, I mean, they tell us because it's a play, we have to listen to the dialogue extra closely, because in a play you would have, again, I feel like the syncopation is because it's written from a play. You have to be very succinct and very direct in how you communicate with your audience, because we don't have subtitles in a play. We don't have turning up the volume in a play. So we do learn that Weezer has been divorced twice, and she is the quintessential Southern woman. She grows tomatoes. She gives them out because she has too many. She's got a bumper crop, and she brings her own hair with her when she goes to the salon because she wants to look good for this wedding. And I see Weezer. I see her. I feel like we know Weezer. I know Weezer.
Olympia Dukakis kind of struck me also as somewhat comic foil.
Oh, yeah.
For me, like, the main players in this are Sally Field, Julia Roberts, and Daryl Hannah. Dolly Parton is kind of your tour guide of the South, your bard, and then you have and then you have kind of the court jesters with Dukakis and Shirley MacLaine. Any thoughts about Olympia Dukakis? I mean, I thought she was funny, but she's another one who I think they were like, be Southern, and she's like, oh, well, righty then, and
I mean, I really enjoy Olympia Dukakis' character. I think another theme in this movie is female entrepreneurship, because she decides to use the money from the death of her husband to buy a radio station and go on air. So, I mean, she might be the first TikToker.
Okay. All right, I'm going to give you the last word here on Steel Magnolias. Anything left unsaid? Any burning desires before we start to close out?
I don't think so. I think that you should watch this movie at least twice. Once and then again for the nuances, and I think you'll really enjoy it more.
It's a very busy movie. There's
a lot going on. There's a lot going on.
I mean, it's not quite the backstage promo at TNA where everyone talks over each other, but it's a very busy movie. There's a lot going on. Like, the scenes in Dolly Parton's house business feel very cramped and claustrophobic.
Well, but that's because a carport is.
Yeah, I get that. There's a way to shoot things, and then there's a way to shoot things. They went out of their way to give you a claustrophobic feeling, which I thought was interesting.
Yes, they did, because that is true to life.
What is that? The walls are closing in on you, you paranoid person?
Yeah, in a carport, it might feel that way. A carport's only
Very,
designed
very
for
literal about
cars.
this. And I am trying to speak from the film point of view.
Oh, okay,
From a-
Mark. Okay, yeah, it's the film point of view. Let's wrap it up.
Yes, yes, from the film point of view on a film podcast where we discuss films.
Wrap it up.
Yeah, I'll wrap you up and leave you in the dirt.
Ooh,
Listen,
under the airport. Under the airport.
Under the airport, yes. All right. If you were to tell a doubter, what's your sales pitch to get them to watch Steel Magnolias besides Sally Field's fucking rant at the end?
You will learn more about your females in your life if you watch this with an open mind.
See, everyone says that about Sex in the City.
And I agree.
So which would you prefer people watch if you really want to understand the quintessential woman? Sex
Steel
in the City or Steel Magnolias?
Steel Magnolias and then Sex in the City. Because
Okay.
Steel Magnolias came first.
Okay. What about Fried Green Tomatoes?
Fried green tomatoes is like the B side of the tape. It's good. It's good, but it's more about the story and less about the relationships.
What about Barbie?
I like Barbie. I liked Barbie a lot.
Okay. I'm saying, like, if you were to take an alien and be like, what is woman? And you can only show them one movie.
It would
Which
be
one do you
Steel
show?
Magnolias. It would be Steel Magnolias. Let me get my ring out again. See? Steel
You
Magnolias.
fucking Green Lantern. Put your rings away.
All
right. Well, that is our review of Steel Magnolias. I will give it 10 years probation. Now, listen, earlier this week, myself and Jesse looked at a couple of cartoons. We looked at Predator, Killer of Killers, Witcher, Sirens of the Deep, and my favorite movie of last year now, Love Me. On Monday, myself and Robert Winfrey also did a triple feature. We looked at Queen of the Ring, F1, and Magazine Dreams. Kind of a slow week this week. No shows on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. No Alexis shows. Saturday, however, myself and the Evan Bevins, good to his mother, some language, will be doing a comic strip for Nimona. Nimona is a graphic novel, won lots of awards. You can find it at most children's book fairs. And then Netflix made a cartoon movie out of it. Good stuff. I actually finished the book the other night. Really, really enjoyed it. Sunday. Jesse and I will be going back to source material. We'll be looking at Day Tripper, all 12 issues of it, and only 12 issues because Jesse threatened me with violence.
I believe that. I would threaten you with violence too.
When aren't you threatening me with violence, you crazy person?
Right now. Now. Wait till the camera goes off. Just
okie dokie, if you can catch me. Monday, myself, Jesse, and Mick Wanamaker. She doesn't threaten me with violence. She's a cutie patootie. We're going to be looking at Happy Gilmore 2, Heads of State, and the Thursday Murder Club, catching up on streaming comedies. In theory, there's going to be a Damn You Hollywood for Long Walk. I will not be on it. That'll be hosted by Alexis and whichever men are not mad at her at this time.
Wow, you went there, huh?
Wednesday, well, I'm at Cade's the Elephant with some broad. Jesse and Alexis will be reviewing Stranger Things Season 2. And then 1 week from tonight, myself, David Wright, and our new friend, Kathleen Scott, will be looking at Star Trek Strange New World Season 3. Also, this Saturday night, I will be... my calendar. This Saturday night is Canelo versus Crawford. I will be TikTok live starting at 9 o'clock on Netflix.
Me.
And Erica will be running around in circles, banging pots and pans together.
Yes.
Okay. Doing laundry and washing things that were already clean, more than likely.
No.
And then Jonas will be chasing her with a rolling pin. Like, stop it! Stop it! It's already clean!
Yes.
Well, Erica's yelling out, damn spot out, and we don't know what dog she's talking about. Hey now. All right, Erica. You're a social media maven influencer. A pretty cool fruit who really knows where his towel's at. Where can they find you and what are you doing?
You can find me on Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram. And if you're on LinkedIn and you're hiring for QA analysts, I'm available.
I'm sure a lot of people who need QA analysts were watching the film discussion of Steel Magnolias tonight. That's good synergy. You don't
know. I might forward this.
Okay, good. Put this out as your fucking resume. Erica, what do you think of this movie? It's good. Plugs. Ugh. Fucking amateurs. All right. Fucking amateurs is the phrase that pays here on the Rattledge Broadcasting Network. So, court is now in recess. Be well for the great Erica Poe. I've got a headache. Be well, be safe, and behave.